I started in 1963, and the last job I had before I went in the military in June of 1964, I was working at the Port Theater. And my job was to take up tickets. And at the time, Aaron Cooley was the manager. Neil Garrett was a projectionist. My brother George Gainnie was a projectionist. Virginia Graves sold tickets, and Linda Callahan worked the concession stand. So that was the employees at the time. And I was knocking down $16.33 an hour. I started on Sunday, and my job was the way the films came in, they came in on a freight truck. And there was a phone booth at the corner of 4th and Reed from Benton Truck Lines, and they brought the films every Sunday. And my first job was to meet the truck at the phone booth on Sunday and pick the films up and take them to the theater for them to start running the movies that week. And then I worked several days of the week taking up tickets. Saturday was the big day. It was during that time in our community, TVs, people was beginning to buy TVs, but there was still a lot of people coming to the theaters. And on Saturday, that place would be full of kids mostly. And it was an all-day thing, because once the movie stopped, they didn't exit everybody. You just stay there all day long. And I think if I remember right, it was like 35 cents or something like that to get in. 25, 35, it was a bargain. Me and Aaron Cooley and Neil Garrett, we'd go in there and sweep the floors and mop all the floors on a Saturday night. And that was basically my duties for the week. And I helped change the big signs and the marquee and stuff like that. It's so different nowadays. They had, I remember the cigarette dispensing machines in the hall. People stand, they smoked in the theater. We had some real characters come in there. There was one girl in come in there just about every Saturday. She brought a picnic basket with her. She'd eat fried chicken and different things. We had another guy come in there. He had a drinking habit. He'd come in there with a pint of liquor every Saturday. I remember one Saturday he broke it. You could smell it all in there. But it was a very lively place, and it was kind of on Saturdays, that's where most everybody wound up, was at the theater. And normally when they run a film back then, they would usually start with a cartoon. Roadrunner was a favorite, and they'd have a serial, and it was a week-to-week thing. It was like a space thing or something like that. And then they would have previews, and then they would have the feature movie. It was a lot of days of Roy Rogers and Westerns and stuff like that. A lot of good movies, but it was good entertainment, a lot of, family entertainment, and people came, and the popcorn was real good. I loved that. That buttered popcorn was delicious. And but that was kind of my routine of that week. And like I said, I left in June of 1964, and when I got out of the service, it was closed. I noticed that before Hurricane Michael, I remember going down there, they had auctions, and then they had some entertainment and stuff, and it was coming back. And everything was really looking good. And then, like other things, Hurricane Michael did a number on it. And I've watched some of this reconstruction that they're doing now, and they've done a lot of work in there. I was amazed when the walls, when it was bare where I could see what all was in there, how thick, how many bricks are in those walls. When they built that thing in the late 30s, I think it was, I forget how many bricks thick the walls are, but there's a lot of bricks in there, and how well that place was built. And but they've done a lot of work in there. I was looking at the plumbing and the sheetrock and a lot of new stuff in there. And but it was a community place back in our day, because I remember seeing my first TV as a kid. We didn't have a TV until I was, 12 or 14 years old, something like that. And a lot of kids was that way, didn't have it. And the movie was a big deal. And so when I got that job, that was a big deal. I got the movie and popcorn, and it was, most of the time was free. Getting it all back together and getting it done right, and making it look presentable, and I believe people would participate. And I see other towns and all that they have plays and productions and stuff they put on, and musical events and things like that. It's I really do. I think it'd be an attribute to the community too.